But I say unto you, love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. And pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you.
Which is the first commandment of all?
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might, and with all thy strength. This is the first and great commandment, and the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets.
Master, thou hast said the truth. There is one God, and none other but He. And to love Him with all the heart, and with all the understanding, and with all the soul, and with all the strength, and to love his neighbor as himself, is more than all the whole burnt offerings and sacrifices.
Thou art not far from the kingdom of God.
Sure, they got one leg.
What's up, y'all?
Whoa, hold on.
Is that Linus Texas?
You do something. What you be doing?
I'm on here freestyling for people, man. Can I do a freestyle for you guys?
That's that dude! That's the TikToker!
Oh, damn. Yo, can I do a freestyle for you guys?
Give us one. Wait, turn up.
Hold on. We gotta give him words. We gotta give him words.
Give me the most creative, challenging words you can think of.
Ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ambidextrous. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Another big one.
Another big
Chronicle.
one. Afghanistan.
Afghanistan. All right.
Okay. Revolutionary.
Ambidextrous, chronicle, Afghanistan, and revolutionary. Those are the words? Y'all ready?
Yep.
All right, let's go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Other artists really need to get their flex up. When it come to freestyles, yo, I'm next up. I be shining kinda like my man's necklace. Use both sides of my brain, I'm ambidextrous. I'm the freshest type. They can feel the vibes from left to right. Y'all know that I'm the dopest on jams. Ambidextrous, cause I can use both of my hands. Then again, it don't matter if I'm right or left-handed, cause I never write it, I hope you understand it. I provide it right off the tip of the brain. And when I'm spitting for my people, all my shit is insane. I make it happen. I'ma kick a rap verse. Shout to my homie with the necklace and the black shirt. Filming on the phone, gotta get it on your camera. They got questions, Harry is the answer. Yeah, I'm about to make it known. When I rhyme, I be entering the crazy zone. Thank you for the words, y'all came up with the good stuff. Shout the homie chilling in the middle with his hood up. I go beyond your flow, going places other rappers wanna go. Do it by myself, no sponsor, bro. I'm delivering the rap chronicles. Your level up, I go beyond it. Matter of fact, I'm about to get you lifted like the Chronic. Can't nobody else rock this way. High like the Chronic, that's word to Dr. Dre. H-Mac, I'ma put it down. Every time I'm rhyming, they be loving my sound. Can't nobody really do it like me. Winning in my psyche. Shout my homie who be rocking Nike on the zip up. I get props whenever I be spitting. They gon' see me on TikTok for hip hop. I'ma put it down for all of y'all. I be cold shivery. This here is the Chronicle delivery. Delivering the magazine and the periodical. I got the hottest flow, you know I brought it, bro. I ain't never slipping. Yeah, y'all just be assistant. I'm Michael Jordan. These rappers like Pippen. Think they on my level, homie? They be tripping. I grip the mic and then I'm about to slam the jam from LA to Afghanistan. I'm about to break it down till I find my peace. They put my music in the Middle East, yeah. All my lyrics are gigantic, I'm about to make a panic. They can feel my shit across the whole planet, yeah. Lyrics is what I'm about to push. He was like, yo, he's rapping right now. He said, shush, please be quiet, he's really getting down. I'ma blow your mind with the rhymes that's profound. I be doing me, and y'all know they never doing Harry. When it come to lyrics, all my flows are revolutionary. What I mean to say is when I'm spitting off the brain, I be revolutionary, go against the grain. I'm about to make a change the whole earth. I'm about to blow your mind with the freestyle verse. The beat style, but I wasn't ready to end. H-Mac be the freestyle internet trend, let's go.
Yo.
Hey, yo, I said the Flat Earth Lounge in the building. Duffy, we ain't playing banners, chat in the building. Yo, London, it's flat, bro. Yeah, no fakers, we take out the mascot. Bottom feeders, I'm cracking the black rock. Close your case like I'm closing Jaren's laptop. Duffy acts when I'm bringing the backdrop. Duffy's allegations, disorientation, financial violations, plus a few citations at federal tax evasion, FE fixation, globe education, Jared infatuation, cooperation at Union Station 33, Masonic signs, why all the faking, blood spilling, concealing, fulfilling the contract, so willing, so dealing, cold chilling, faith healing, unable to see the ceiling, appearing, intervening, fake past the magician, self-revealing. No fakers, we take out the mascot. Bottom feeders, I'm cracking the black rock. Close your case like I'm closing Jaren's laptop. Duffy acts when I'm bringing the backdrop. Duffy said to Eve, eat the apple, go dazzle, talk, babble. These snakes in the chapel. Duffy's the leader, 2 horns, no geezer. Man, take a breather. I am the keeper of the Grim Reaper. Colorado preacher, death penalties. Bob the teacher, misdemeanor getting bolder. Young, not older. See ram horns, it's getting colder. KLTTJBRCDVD, writing letters on TV. Still with me. Ceremonies, down on one knee. It's plain to see CC. Ha, yo, he's no pastor, he's just an actor. Who's his master? Bob Ali Star. He's no pastor, he's just an actor. Who's his master? He's going straight to hell, yo. No fakers, we take out the mascot. Bottom feeders, I'm cracking the black rock. Close your case like I'm closing Jaren's laptop. Duffy acts when I'm bringing the backdrop. Well, let's end with this. How many dicks will take a pic? How many more perverts on the grift? How many more pricks will take the piss? Well, I have a list, so let's resist, be strong, and let's persist, persevere, pioneer, peer-to-peer. I did my P's, no Q's, oh dear, it's clear. Practically demonstrate your model, and I'll swear I go back to the globe. Don't care, quicker than Randy's hair, quicker than one of Mellow Globe, solar flares, quicker than Jaren jumping the fence, quicker than Jaren backstabbing his friends, quicker than Patrick buying a Benz, quicker than Robbie taking backhands, quicker than Paul making amends, quicker than Craig doing 10 reps, quicker than Mac Tunes, Colorado Connect. Stop, you thought I forgot, yo-yo. Jax, Amanda, Sarah, Vicky, Laura, Liz, Fiona, and Suits, Mom, Jim, Scotty, Tommy, Happy, Charlie, Seeking Forever Love, Brendan, Chills, Jim, Triana, Graham, Logical, and Tourette, too. Big Pine, Dorian, Matthew, Martin, PJ, Tone D, and rest of the crew. Baron, Allen, Blood, MK, Ian, Jamie, VT, Fen, Dr. E, Jeff, what's new? Hashtag Morgan, Roger, Flats, Dr. B, Dean, HD, DJ, New Moon, Andy, Lev, Toma, Emerald, Suits, Krillin, Jimmy, Room, Sherlock, C, Super Dirt, Canada, Chili, King, Shin, Cheswick, FPV, think of me. Hey.
Hey, Life. How you doing, Derek? You good?
Hi. Yeah, I'm doing good. Good.
Good to see you there. I see you come in the back when the intro had started. I was like, what the heck's going on here?
And I was also just making sure everything was kind of set up right.
Yeah, you sound good. You sound
Okay. Good.
You sound well.
Right on. Hope you're
Yes.
doing well. Hope you got enough rest.
Yes. I mean, I was going to, if I didn't sleep last night, I was going to cover Kingdom in Context debating Duffy live, but I was asleep. So yeah, I didn't even see it. I haven't seen it. But I dare say Flats will review it anyway, so that's even better. Because like if I had covered it, it would just be us kind of watch partying it with me butting in every now and again because you have to. Although end up bloody copywriting you or something, you know what I mean? But yeah, I didn't make it. I didn't even make it. It was 1 a.m. for me. But yeah, I have actually even set my alarm for it and didn't even hear the alarm, and that's not like me, you know. But yeah, it wasn't guaranteed I was going to cover it anyway. I'd rather review it on Flats's anyway. But yeah, let's say hello to the guys in the chart. Who's in first? Oh, we'll go this one. Takes me further. Oh, it's Baza. Baza, good to see you. Jimenez, pleasure, bro. Sandro, always a pleasure. Skeptic, good to see you, dude. I'm chilling for like Gaji. Who else? Same name. Derek obviously said hello. Chillstar Blocks and FE Nation. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. I'm sure I said Skeptic as well. Yeah. Good to see you. I don't know if anybody's seen what the debate. I don't even know if it was a debate. Was it a debate or a conversation about Black Earth Globe. I don't know. It was probably a debate, but I know what Duffy's like, you know. So it's got to be nothing new. It's nothing new what he's got to say. But I dare say Flats will review it. I dare say Flat. He said he was going to review it. So yeah. Hey, KK, good to see you. Good to see you.
Well, likewise. Yeah, no, I had a good rest myself. I wasn't, exerting myself as much as you have been over the last week or so, but it was like still like a lag type thing.
Yeah, of course.
It caught up to me a little bit.
It does catch up. I mean, yes, it is hard for me to sleep sometimes, but it does catch up with me. It does definitely catch up with me. So it's good to see you, bro. Good to see you. What do I usually do? Yes, Jim. Start off with Jim. Start off with a few Jim's observations, and then we'll just get straight into the video. I'm kind of running out of topics. I used to have I've got like 400 saved videos that through the past, like since I started streaming, these are ones that I saved to stream just in case, you know what I mean? Not just in case, these are the ones I'm going to do, but there's ones I didn't get to, ones that are outdated, you know, I could go look through them and see, I could stream on that, but they're older videos now, which is sometimes I don't mind, just depending.
Well, you just reminded me about topics. I spend a lot of time listening, and I'm always, having thoughts that are good at the time, but I wasn't writing them down. And I just started the other day, literally. And I mean, some of these are really good that I would like to, throw out there at some point, not right now, after.
Absolutely.
Whenever.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. Absolutely. Even if you come across a video or whatever, say between, I don't know, 20 minutes to an hour. I mean, this one's 50 minutes, so hopefully we need to get on there, or else it's going to take 2 days to do it. You know what it's like when you get a longer video. But yeah, even if it's a video between 20 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever, and you think it's interesting, I mean, just send it to me and I'll have a look at it. And well, I usually don't look at it. I usually look at the title, look at the description, and I think, yeah, that seems like it should be okay to stream back. Some of them a lot of people say, you should check your videos and all that first, which I understand where they're coming from. But if I watch the whole video and then I have to sit and review it with you guys again, then it gets boring for me. So I prefer to watch it with you guys. I go in the description, and if it's a bust, it's a bust. I just do something else. You know what I mean? So I prefer not to watch the videos first.
With these ideas I have, I don't think they involve too much video watching.
All right, cool.
It's just something to chew on, a conversation type. Like yesterday, on Flats' stream, I had the thought, during some of their conversation, where my topic idea would actually, be based on how weakness is a good thing.
Okay.
Scripturally.
Well, to a certain degree, I suppose it is. Certain degree. It depends where you're weak at, where the weakness is, what the weakness is attributed to.
Well, I don't want to get too into it, right now, but it's based on how Jesus said his power is made perfect in weakness.
There you go. Absolutely. But so instead of praying to the Lord, give me strength, Lord, make me weak.
Well, I mean,
I don't think I've ever prayed that. To be sure. But I can understand. I can see it. I can see where you're coming from with it.
Well, it's like when I think of my past experience, it's like, a lot of the times I'd get up or, beat on myself. I'm not strong enough here or there or whatever, and basing everything on my own strength, and that's not the point.
No, exactly.
Right. So.
Exactly. I mean, because when you are weak, that's when you find your strength as well. You're beaten to the point of pure exhaustion, and you still, with Christ, manage to do things, get up and get on with it. I mean, I suppose your strength is made manifest through weakness. Not your strength, but the strength in the Lord is made manifest. Yeah. Through weakness.
Mm-hmm. And so. It also involves, putting more trust in God in the sense of, things that are out of our control. Like in the US here, as far as I'm concerned, they haven't been listening to me since ever. like, look, I only voted once, right?
Mm.
And this was in 2008. I wrote in Ron Paul. I had to, because at this point in time, he had already been taken off the slot or whatever they call it.
Right, right.
But what he stood for was actually, you know, taking a stand at, you know, plunging our economy into
Of course.
perpetual debt. But point is, what they've been doing in government, like, they just don't listen to me anyway. So it's like, I don't waste time on something that's not in my control.
That's it. That's, I mean,
Right.
people
And
that-
it's so much healthier. Like, you know, why am I worrying about something that I can't do anything about?
can't do nothing about. Yeah, exactly,
So I'm
exactly.
going to.
I get that, and it's that's what I mean. And it's like worrying. I worry a lot, but worrying can't solve a thing. Does it?
That's
Doesn't
right.
matter how much you worry. It does it. And I still do it. I worry a lot. You know what I mean? And it's one of them things. It's a lot of people say if you worry, you're sinning because you're not trusting in the Lord. I don't know how true that is. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a sin to worry, but a lot of people will tell you it's a sin to worry. I understand where they're coming from when they say if you're worrying and you're anxious all the time, because it says be anxious for nothing, you know, but in everything by prayer and supplication, let your request be known to God in the peace and with thanksgiving. You know what I mean?
In my walk, it's like, I mean, there's things about myself that I've noticed where it's like they're blatantly obvious. It's like anxiety that I'm not giving to God in prayer, you know. But then there, you know, like once you get past that, it's like there's even other things that kind of God lets you know about, where, like, you know, well, you're still kind of keeping this inside of yourself and still depending on yourself for, you know, this other issue. Yeah, it's not as obvious as others, but like they're there.
Of course.
Like in the past with live streaming, for example, like I would think about like, oh, what will people think about me? You know.
Of course.
And I'd be all anxious, like, oh.
Ooh, I used to think that. I used to be so nervous when I first started streaming.
Right. And
really nervous. Even now, I still get nervous sometimes. I don't know why, because it's one of them things.
It was also another way where, like, I'm kind of depending on myself for something. You know, how I'm viewed, and it's like, no, I don't even need to worry about it. I can just.
That's it. I mean, yeah, I could see worry being a sin in certain aspects, but not in every aspect. Hey, babe. Hey, babe.
Oh, yeah.
Are you good? Just about to play some of Jim's observations.
Oh, Vicky joined. Hi, Vicky.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi, Derek.
Hello.
Hey,
Nice to see you again.
Likewise. Yeah, good to hear from you as well.
We've just been shopping.
Oh, you just got back.
Yeah, but we've got shopping coming tomorrow. But we needed, like, I had nothing to drink, and I needed fags and stuff, and I weren't waiting. Hi, Bazza. Hi, Sandro. Hi, Frank. Right. Hi, Skeptic.
When am I coming to yours next? When am I coming to yours? But how long's John that you get forgotten him? John, how long is she staying for?
She goes home Tuesday.
Got it. So is it hot where you're at? Because it's quite warm.
I've got a Monster.
I actually got a Lucozade energy drink. I told you, didn't I? Quite good. The mango pizza one.
No, I was at a pop and that. So we went to the chemist, and then we went to. I went into Greg's. I was like, I need a drink. My mouth was so dry. But no, it's muggy. It's not even nice. It was sunny earlier, weren't it? And now it's just
still sunny now.
It's not here. It's cloudy.
Oh, is it? There has been a bit of cloud, but it's intermittent. Right, babe.
Hi, Salad. Hi, KK. Hi, Jono.
It's quite a long video, so I'm going to start playing. You can stop talk while Jim's in it. Things are on. So you can carry on talking. I'm just going to play some of Jim's observations. So if you need to talk, just go for it. Jupiter, let's do the first one. You just did 1 minute ago, it says, yeah, but if I refresh it, it'll be. Nine minutes ago. Okay. Oh, and it just changed. Oh, no, it's a different one. Okay, 20 minutes ago.
Have you played Luca's video?
No, I'm not playing Luca's video. I'm not playing it. I'm not giving him a view. No, I watched it for less than 30 seconds. So yeah, once he got once he got timed out last night in flat, says he went and made a 3-minute video or something like that, calling us all retards and got timed out again for saying I was bored. I says I'm the only one that went and commented in his video. Because I was told what he said. I only watched it for 20 seconds, so it didn't count as a view. Was that
me that timed you out, Luca, if you're watching?
Oh yeah. I was telling him the only time are you thick as well as a liar. I says you got timed out not just for saying you were bored. You followed up saying I'm bored by that's why I've come here. You know, and that's an insult. Yes, it's fine saying you're bored. You know what I mean? But saying that's why I've come here, making a point of saying I'm bored, and then that's why I've come here. Well, I mean, so if you had something a bit better to do, you wouldn't be here. You're basically saying it's a boring stream, and you'd rather be anywhere else but here. That's it. You know what I mean? So
it's not like anyone even wants him there.
No. So, and he had 5 views on it this morning after 12 hours. And obviously, he's doing it for Craig and that to see because he's probably tagged them all in it. And nobody's caring. It's the only people that have anything to do with him is me and Flats. So, like, if he comes here, just get rid of him. I'm sick of him. He should be banned from every platform. He's there for a reason. I used to feel sorry for him, but I don't anymore. He's actually. I even let him go the other day because he was banned from here. I let him go again. You know, but not anymore. He's done.
Look, if you want to ban Luca, you better get him quick because as soon as I see him, I'm banning him everywhere.
Well, just let somebody else ban him in chat. Just let somebody else have a go. If he comes in chat, someone ban him that hasn't banned anybody.
That nice.
If you haven't banned anybody before, as soon as Luca comes in, someone other than Vicky or Sandro ban him.
Hi, Jillian.
And yesterday in Flats' chat, I'm not sure if Luca read my message or not, but I'm trying to make an easy request from him to try to last longer than 15 minutes before he gets
I saw that.
Yeah.
Let's start small,
Yes, exactly.
Like if he can do that, then there's room for at least a little something.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't really pay attention to what he's saying.
He was saying things like I can't remember Flat saying anyway, but apparently Flat said about a baby can be aborted after it's born. And I'm saying, well, and he's saying, well, that's so stupid because you can't abort a baby after it's born. Yeah, you can. It's called murder or a sacrifice. It's the same as aborting a baby is just killing a baby. So it's the same thing. So yes, you can abort a baby once it's been born. Horrible topic, but yes, you can, Luca. Don't be
not the way you do it normally, though.
Not the way, and obviously it's
murder.
It's not the way they call it's not that an abortion as such, but it is still the same as, He
does skeptic.
Yeah. He does it intentionally. But that's the last, I'd say if he comes in, ban him. It's the last I want to talk about him. So that's
and it's like he is like a child, really.
That's it.
They're obnoxious because they do want attention. It's just that you don't reward the bad attention.
Exactly.
But how many times are we going to let him do it? Do you know what
I mean? That's why.
Whenever it's bad attention, time him out.
Yeah, that's why we should stop talking about him right now because we're giving him attention. So let's do it. Right, Jim. You can talk still.
But no, because last night I was crying and I couldn't see what was being said in chat, and I was going, and then he put, "I'm bored. That's why I'm here," and I was like, "Right,
change the topic from anything." Is that your dog then?
Yeah.
And that'll be your dog as well, won't it? And then Tommy, it's good to see you, bro. Jim put some right chilling music in here sometime. What's that? Hey, Minnie. Look, Minnie is so loud for a little dog, a little bees on trees, that Barzak can hear Minnie from the States. And Vicky's in the UK. See what little voices do. Bridge gaps. Big gaps. I need to take my scooter to get the puncture repaired tomorrow because I keep not doing it, keep forgetting about it. So I haven't used it for like 6 months or something. I could do it myself, but it's a pain in the butt. You know what I mean? To get the wheels off, you've got to take things off of it, all just to fix a puncture. So I just paid for it. Easier. But I haven't took it for
So what are
ages.
the fix?
What? What?
Oh, sorry. It was the housing because you know the alarm system that you pull. It's not working again.
No doubt, no doubt. Chilling says, Skeptic, I think Vicky and Sandro are AI.
Chilling. AI wouldn't chew your ear off for 2 hours,
2
mate.
hours.
Have you been having 2-hour conversations with AI, Chilling? Sorry, tell me. Do you imagine AI with my gob? No.
Not really.
No.
The world will be taken over already.
Everyone would be complaining. But Frank, thank you for resubbing. I know YouTube's a pain in the backside when it comes to unsubbing. It does it to me all the time, and I'll go to look for some it was Ironworks, weren't it, the other week?
Aye.
And I couldn't find it, and I was like, why can't I? Where's it gone? And YouTube didn't sub me.
Same as I had 600 the other day. You know what I mean? I got up to my 600 and now it's put me back to 599. No, it damn.
No, Frank said it, you know, he gave his sympathies and that, and it's sweet.
Aye.
I'm okay. I think it's just the whole thing is just a shock, isn't it?
Of course it is. I still not over Dougie. I see his picture up there. Weird.
I know, but like
He's
he
not
wasn't even dying. Do you know what I mean?
No, I know.
And it's just, yeah, you know. I think
Sandra.
the way he died is I struggle with more.
Sandra says, look, he is AI, alcohol influenced.
You said it.
That's a good one.
I'm just a bad influence. There ain't no alcohol involved.
Chillin says, Sandra, I'm AI too. I'm an arsehole inside and out.
Crying out loud.
AI and AO, arsehole inside and out.
But frankly, I get unsub from loads of channels, and then I'll go to get the link to share it, and it's not there. Hi, Jim.
It's ridiculous.
Hi, Chillstar. Oh, so we went to Tesco. Hi, Dean. We went to Tesco, and we're having jacket potatoes and salad for dinner.
Good.
We've got Minnie a toy.
Okay.
Even though we come back and all she does is cry.
Yo, right.
Someone do it quick.
No. Sandro, I said anyone but you and Vicky. Someone else needs to do it. On high. I wanted to talk to him first. Luca, so what bollocks are you talking on your video? What absolute bollocks? You think you can come here after calling us all retards again? You've seen my comment in your comment section.
We're all done.
Yeah, I'm the only one that's commented. I give it less than 20 seconds view, but I was told exactly what you said. Yes, you can abort a baby after it's born. It's called murder or a sacrifice.
I don't know why you're putting a question mark.
And you know why? No, no. Oh, come on. You were banned. You lied. You were banned for a reason. You called the person who banned. There you go.
Chilling. Well done.
Someone banned
10
him.
seconds chilling.
Just wait till I've spoken to him. Just wait till I've spoken to him. Wait till I've spoken to him.
No, everyone's like, right.
I want him banned for good, not timed out. Oh, I was just about to mod him there.
No. Look, Luca, everyone keeps giving you chances and you do the same shite different day. And do you know what? It's boring. I told you the other day I was giving you your first and last warning because you know something, you get timed out and banned more than most people.
You've been timed out for 10 seconds so you can come back in. So there's no, oh, come on, someone is going to ban you for good in a minute. But I'm just telling you, dude, you think you can go away and keep slagging this off. You lied. You said, oh, I was timed out. And you called the person that timed you out a retard. You know what I mean? That was Vicky that timed you out. And she just had some bad news about our family, not that you need to know. But you said you were timed out for saying I was bored. But you followed it up where you forgot to say, you followed it up with, that's why I'm here. Thank you, Jim. Thank you. Perfect. That's why I'm here, you said. So you're banned for a reason and you will not get back here. And as soon as I see you in Flax's, you will be banned permanently again.
That's if me or Sandra, I don't see him first.
If Sandra doesn't get there first, yeah. So you know exactly where you're banned. Come on, and the thing is as well, as soon as you get timed out or banned or something like that, you go and make a video so you're overlooked, you possibly see it, just so trolls will come to Flax's or whoever's again. Not, oh, come on, you know exactly what you're doing. You know what you were timed out because you insulted by saying, oh, I'm bored. But then you followed it up with, that's why I'm here. Now, that's all the time we are giving you. You've been banned. You'll be banned on Flax's as well. And I'm not unbanning you again. That's it. Done. Never again. Never again. And don't bother clicking the link to try and come in StreamYard because you won't get in.
No, he's banned.
Is he banned in StreamYard?
Yeah, I banned him.
Oh, okay. Dean, good to see you. Right, that's as much time as I'm giving him. That's it. Done.
I'm banning him everywhere.
Thank you, Jim.
Do you know the first time he commented on my
no more about
I'm just saying, the first time I had a comment from it, I banned it.
Right, done. That's all we need to talk about him. Done. I can't even find that comment to get back together, but there it is. Well, that's it. That's right, Frank. I'm not going to put that on screen, but yeah, I'll say it. If you abuse your autism, it is no longer as superpower. Absolutely, Frank. Absolutely.
Go make another video now and cry.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me. Right. Let's get on with the topic then. I think this is the end of the video. No, I don't know. I've got another 40 seconds. I'll do another shot one of James, then we'll get on with the topic. Because it is a 50-minute video, 51 minute. Oh, did I put the link in the chat? Oh, I have.
And when I think of it in like another scenario, like say you're driving and Luca's in the back seat, you know, and he's acting obnoxious. It's like, you know, if you don't settle down, I'm going to turn this car around. We're going to go right back home type thing. And with him, it's like, you know, like Luca, you do it every time. I can't take you anywhere.
Every time.
He has to learn how to behave himself. Otherwise, it's just
there's no point anymore. Well,
it's like you got to get past the first step. Otherwise, it's just.
Yeah, of course.
A merry-go-round.
Of course. All right, one more for the anus. Likey.
And welcome, DJ. And yeah, Joe, Frank, Thomas. Jim, Frank. Let's see.
Good to see you, DJ, man.
Everybody. Yeah, sorry.
So this is a plane. Oh yeah, it's a plane. It's a plane. When I seen plane, I thought I was thinking of a flat Earth plane. I wasn't thinking plane in the sky. Weird. Hey, Rory, good to see you. I just oh come on. Right. Oh babe, did you get your meds? Babe,
Yeah, that's why. Because I
no, but
need
you said you,
to.
you said you went shopping, but you didn't say you went to the chemist.
No, we went to get my meds first because I was going to order it, like fags and that, to be delivered. And she was like, well, if we've got to go out and get your meds, we might as well go and get the shopping.
Oh, there you go.
And she was right, because we got everything we needed. But on the way back, the taxi driver was taking us somewhere else. And I'm like, no, you're going the wrong way. Right, try and get more money out of me. I didn't tip him either. You can get stuff.
Dylan says, he says, I've been building stuff with wooden pallets. I said, what have you been building? A shed. Been building a shed. A man cave.
I've got some new reed diffusers.
Alright. Are they nice? Oh, I was going to put on my candle. Actually, I'm going to do it now.
My part, put them together.
Right. Candle.
I'm gonna have to put.
On the wax now.
You know what though? I've got hay fever today.
Oh, yeah.
And she has. And it's got worse since we've been back, but I forgot to get antihistamines.
Ah, got you.
So I'll have to get some. I'll have to amend my Asda orders for tomorrow.
You certainly will. Right, video.
What video was it again? I'm sorry.
It's Wise Disciple. I think he's commenting on a part of a debate of some sort, where this atheist apparently destroys itself, sort of thing. Like I say, I don't watch him beforehand, but I trust they're like the Wise Disciples videos anyway. I've been using them quite a while. You'll know the guy when I put them on. You'll seen him before I've used him quite a lot in this. The one with the wings that come out of the side of his head, the messenger wings. They don't come out of his head, but they'll look like it because of his backdrop. You'll know when I see it. Because somebody said it about his wings before.
Right on.
All right. Let's go get it. There we go.
King Showdown. Christian Priest.
There's the wings at the side of his head. Look. His backdrop. You don't know? Why is the side?
Supper versus Atheist Pre-Supper. Wow. Wait a second. Is that even possible? You bet it is. Take a look at this.
Is an arbitrary assumption. So
you do the same thing.
No, my worldview can ground that assumption because
my worldview can ground that.
Ground it.
Yeah, it's my presupposition that the universe exists, has the properties that it has, that we can learn about it.
Yeah, and that is what we call an arbitrary assertion, which means it has no ground.
I think your worldview is arbitrary.
Yeah, what is going presupposition? It's just your view. You haven't proved it at all. What is DJ? Oh, I posted on TikTok yesterday and got 520k views. Dude, that's amazing. Let's quickly have a look at it. You got 250,000 views. Oh, right. It's all right. We've seen it. It's just the Katy Perry, the capsule, the door opening, and then them opening it with the wrench afterwards. He's had 12.2 thousand views. That's decent, man. That's decent. The most I ever got in TikTok was 16.4, and that was for a cat, a nice cat that I caught. That's the most I got, just because it fish, but fishing videos get a lot on TikTok. But that's decent, man. That's decent. 12.2 thousand K. That's kind of like, I'd say about 6,000 views on YouTube, kind of equated to maybe 8,000 or something. That's decent. That's decent, DJ Newman. Bless you, man.
And for the debate here, I'm going to be turning my camera and mic off, but I'll be listening on my other phone here. I'm going to do some dishes while I'm listening.
Not a problem, man.
Okay, cool.
If you've got something to say, though, just chime in.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
I'm going to be eating.
You're going to be eating. All right, guys, I'll just be chatting crap myself for a minute. Are you okay, babe, though? Babe?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
I'm
going on here? I'm about to break it down for you.
She said she told me not to talk with my mouth full, but I had to just talk with my mouth full. She's a hypocrite, isn't she, guys?
Aye.
Right, I love you.
Love you.
But you know what? I think I need help tonight. So I've asked my friend Eli Ayala of Revealed Apologetics to join me in breaking down and analyzing this intense exchange. So let's get right into it.
Oh, you put spaces fake and that got 520,000 views. That's ace, man. That's ace, bro. Let's have a quick look at that, man. Well, I've obviously know the video. That's not... That's not the same video. That video is just that one's just the capsule one. That's not your space is fake video. That's crazy. That's a decent amount of views, man.
Welcome back to Wise Disciple. My name is Nate, and I'm helping you become the effective Christian that you were meant to be, which entails understanding atheist challenges to the faith. And this one, Eli, this one's a doozy. You know what I mean? So we're going to get into it. But first, make sure to like, sub, and share this one around, but only if it blesses you. All right. Welcome back to the show, Eli. Good to see you, man.
Thank you so much. Yeah, same here. Thank you so much for having me.
So we're going to get into more of what's going on with your channel, with Apologia Studios. But actually what happened was, I think it was a couple days ago, I saw you break down this debate on your channel, and I was like, oh man, I got to talk to Eli. We got to sit together. We got to wrestle with this one. So let's get right into it.
So let's talk about truth for a second. I'm holding a pen here, and assuming I'm not doing any tricks, I'm not upside down or anything.
Okay, wait. So I've skipped ahead. So for those that are wondering, this is not the beginning of the exchange, because the beginning of the exchange where Doug sort of gives his initial salvo was a hot mess. All right. So Eli, Doug tried to introduce some kind of thought experiment, and it just wasn't working. You know, I don't even know what the reason was here, but Joel just
to try and probably sound clever. You know, a thought experiment. You know, just think of this. And then you'll think of it, and he'll be thinking it's amazing and all that. And then says, well, that's how it is. That's how we know there is no God. That's how we know evolution did it and a Big Bang did it and all that kind of stuff. Rubbish. Yeah, it's to try and sound clever. Equate a mental exercise with evolution and stuff like that. Probably. I don't know for sure because I didn't see the thought experiment, but we know what they're like. You know, it's to sound clever. Or another way of obfuscating.
Like shut him down completely. And I thought Joel did a great job. So we're going to actually pick it up right here. Take a look.
If I drop this pen, do you think it's true that it will fall to the ground?
Yes.
Isn't it that mental? Like the way he set his thing out, how he set his screen out so he could talk to someone and see the debate. And the way that I'm set up, it just kind of works perfectly. There's three of us here. Derek doesn't overlap into that dude, and we don't overlap into the top one. So every single one of us can be seen from three separate videos. That's pretty mad. Oh, it's crazy. That's a thought experiment. Not an thought experiment, but that's a thought for you. You know what I mean?
And you believe that because of uniformity of nature?
Well, I don't know. Is this a trick like it's going to land on your foot or it's going to land on the desk or something?
No.
I didn't know that there was a desk underneath you.
Because under your worldview, I could let go of this pen and it could go up.
Oh, interesting.
What? They're talking about what? They're talking. What is the debate? Life Christianity debate. It's not flat Earth or anything. This is just about. I don't even know if any of them are flat earthers, but this is about like is God real? Is God true or whatever? Is God real? I don't know. It's a Christian debate, and he's talking about physics or physics that doesn't happen. Well, it does. Things do go up, but not a pen. A pen's not going up. You know?
Like God could intervene?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. God is free to do that. Absolutely.
So God could quite easily intervene if he wanted to.
So where's your uniformity of nature?
Uniformity of nature comes from the fact that that God acts consistently, and that when God breaks the laws of logic, the laws of nature,
He already did it. He stopped the sun for 24 hours. He stopped the sun. God can do these things, right? I mean, physically, or and I don't know if the sun is actually a physical block or whatever, but I don't but we see the sun, how it moves every day. It does the same thing all the time. It's cyclical. But God stopped that, the normal way of things. He stopped it. Because he can do them kind of things being God. Doesn't matter about the uniformity of it. God can do what he wants. Bit of a weird thought exercise. What?
which he doesn't break the laws of logic. But when he does so for a particular purpose. It's supposed to be weird. Miracles are weird in our worldview.
But there you go. Sun stands still upon the valley of it. As they are. But miracles are weird. Of course they are. I mean, they're not the normal thing. It's not the normal way of things. When Jesus brought Lazarus back from death to life, physically, and his spirit as well, I suppose. Well, definitely. That wasn't normal. That wasn't normal. That would have been classed as weird, or in some cases, witchcraft. With some people would say that. But that happened. That was a miracle. It's not even walking across water is not the normal way of things. That'd be classed as weird. Of course, miracles are weird because they're not the normal way of things. They're odd because they don't usually happen. Miracle.
They're designed to get your attention to prove a point.
Would you say if God intervenes and I let go of this pen and it goes up for morally sufficient reasons, do you think there's uniformity in nature in that instance?
So what Doug is doing right here, and help me to articulate this, Eli, is he's trying to find some kind of violation or conflict between two things: the concept of the uniformity of nature, which is what Christians point to.
Well, that's what they're doing. And of course, he's trying to do that. He's trying to, but it doesn't matter. If God could make a bloody circle, a triangle, if he wanted to, and he's not a liar,
in conversations like this. But actually, not just Christians, atheists do this, right? But Doug is trying to show that the uniformity of nature does not jibe with the Christian view of miracles. Is that right?
Yeah. So when a
guy in the far left, is he wearing makeup? Is he wearing lipstick? The one with the guy with the beard? No, it doesn't look like it to me. It just looks like he's got kind of darkish skin and reddy type lips. It doesn't look like lipstick. I could be wrong, like.
When a presuppositionalist is typically interacting with an atheist, we
if it tickles his fancy, I mean, he can wear lipstick if he's wants. I won't wear it, but he can wear it. He's welcome to it, because I wouldn't.
We'll say things like, only within the Christian worldview can you account for uniformity. And
it's probably it's chilling. You should ken better than that. There's nothing wrong with wearing skirts, man. We wear kilts.
And this relates to kind of the principle of induction and the philosophical problem of induction. And so we'll say that the atheist can't even account for the expectation that the future will be like the past. And so I think what Doug is trying to do, and I think the heart behind what he's doing is accurate. He's trying to actually provide what we call an internal critique of the Christian worldview to show that on its own basis, it's problematic, and the worldview itself.
That's what they specialize in, like Duffy's. They specialize in gotchas or trying to do gotchas, you know, a contradiction. You know what I mean? That's what they try and do. You know what I mean? Look for some kind of contradiction. If there's no kind of contradiction that'll stick, then they'll invent one, you know, or do this mental exercise, looking for gotchas. It's simple as that, really. Hey, Four Jacks, good to see you, bro.
Hi, Four Jacks.
Jono, good to see you as well, brother. Jono as well, babe.
I already said hi to Jono when he first come in.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah. Hi, DJ.
Cannot
Mr.
account for uniformity. He's saying,
no touchy though, yeah.
hey, look, you know, God can perform miracles. And so, yeah, you can't expect the future to be like the past, because for all you know, God could change things. And so you have the same problem that I have. That's kind of the route that I think he's taking. The problem is, I don't think I think Joel gives a great response, and I don't think that he, the atheist lands the punch, so to speak.
So I'm not sure if there's meant to be two of them, these two debating, and the other one's a moderator, or if it's just this guy talking to these other two. I'm not too sure.
Well, let's see what Joel does.
Yeah, uniformity in nature in the Christian worldview is the faithfulness of God expressed in the continuation of the laws of nature, which God could have created otherwise, but he does so, he intervenes in order to establish a point and or to authenticate a claim. Your issue as an atheist, Doug, real quick, your issue as an atheist is 1,000 times worse. It's actually infinitely worse, because given atheism, there is...
It's a contradiction. I believe in nothing is a belief in something. You know what I mean? It's a contradiction from the start. You know, they have got a problem, because there is an explanation, even if I wasn't sure, which I am. God would be the best explanation for existence. You know, God and what it says in Scripture, how he created it, creation. That would seem to me, if I didn't have a clue, if I just say coming in blank and I've seen all the arguments, evolution, God, whatever, then God would be the logical place to go. You know, because with God, it's and always has been. There's always been a God. He didn't come into existence at a certain point. It's just always has been how we understand it, because it's hard to understand. Always has been, with that a start and with that an end. You know, it's that's the problem as well. Natural thinking, supernatural things, thinking of supernatural things with the natural mind. You know, it's hard. It's hard to understand. I get it.
It's not just, hey, the laws of nature might at some point decide to change. There's literally no basis whatsoever for assuming that
if you can stop
nature,
right
physics.
Yeah.
And the idea that Joel is suggesting that it is 1,000 times worse for the atheist is not even a Christian criticism in its originality. I mean, this is an issue that is brought up by the great Scottish skeptic David Hume. Right. What is the basis upon which we expect the future to be like the past? If you were to say, for example, and this is the problem of induction, right? If you're to say that the future is going to be like the past because it's always been that way in the past, that doesn't answer the question. The question is, how do you know that the future will be like the past? And the only way you have a basis for knowing that the future will very likely be like the past, you can't have a basis simply by appealing to the past. You're slipping in a presupposition, which interestingly enough is not known, if it is known at all. It is not known through observation. So, you know, if you're an empiricist and you say that knowledge comes through observation, the assumption that nature is uniform is a non-empirical assumption that is slipped into, you know, a person's philosophical outlook. And it's right there. It's precisely at that moment where a presuppositionalist like myself is going to leap in and say, why should we grant you that assumption? If knowledge comes through observation, what observation did you make to assume or conclude that nature must act in a uniform way? And this is a problem that was brought up by David Hume, and it is not a problem for the Christian. The Christian has a justification for why we would expect the future to be generally predictable, because the uniformity of nature is a presupposition of the Christian worldview. God, through his providence and the governing of the world in an orderly way, God in—
I mean, it is a problem for them, isn't it? Like, if, like, within, like, atheist view, if they've seen something like a miracle happening, how do they explain that? They haven't got an explanation for something out of the ordinary happening. You know, like from what normally happens in nature, something that, say, like the sun stopping for 24 hours. We've got an answer for that. And if it happened, you know, oh, God did it, otherwise it'd be impossible. They haven't. If they witness a miracle, they haven't got a good answer for how it happened. We have. God. You know? They haven't. They can't blame it. So they have to try and, if they witnessed a miracle, it has to be tried to be defined in a natural way, like that would comport with physics. You know what I mean? And the natural way of things. They have to. They've got no idea where else it could come from. So, you know, I think it's the point of they know it's God, that it should be God if things like that happen. It's just they just want to admit it. It's not, there's no such thing as God, because they've got a grudge against them for some reason.
Poses his own consistency in the created order, such that it makes perfect sense for the Christian to expect that the future will very likely be like the past. And so I think Joel gives a beautiful answer here, and he's correct. It's 100 times worse for the atheist because they don't have a justification for that key assumption.
You know, I do not find it at all a coincidence for people who reject God to simply say, oh, well, that basis, that's a brute fact. You know, well, I'll just start right here, you know?
Right.
And this is how atheists are revealed to be presuppers of a certain kind, right? They argue for the uniformity of nature by pointing to the uniformity of nature, which is circular reasoning, is it not?
Yes, and it's a vicious circularity. It does not actually answer anything. When you assert something as a brute fact too, Nate, a lot of people don't realize this. Brute facts are contingent facts, and they are
I only just seen what you said there, Brian. Yeah, Jesus is special. Leave it at that. That's what I'd say to him. Yeah, absolutely. Jesus is special. It's like that. Like that. Just looking through the chat a little bit, see if I missed anything. Yeah, but yeah, I seen how quick Sandro was there. I was like, no, somebody other than Sandro. I knew Sandro would be quick. He's quick. I think Sandro's had a teacher. I think actually Vicky was giving him lessons while I didn't know about it or something. You know what I mean? Because Sandro's really quick nowadays. He's like, yes, I'm there. Fair play to him, man. Fair play to him. Bless you, Sandro. A nice one, Jim.
Facts that do not have an internal or external explanation for why the fact is what it is. And so, for example, if you assert something as just a brute given, then by definition, it's arbitrary because there's no explanation as to why the fact is the way that it is. So you either are stuck in arbitrariness by assuming that it's a brute fact, or you have to give some kind of explanation or justification as to why that fact is the way you say it is. Now, the atheist will tend to turn that around on the Christian. They'll say, well, the Christian has the same problem because you guys believe that God always existed, and so God is a brute fact. And of course, that's actually false in the Christian perspective. God is not a brute fact. Remember, a brute fact is a fact that has neither an external explanation for its existence or an internal explanation for its existence. Now, it's true that the Christian God doesn't have an external explanation for his existence, right? Given the doctrine of divine aseity, this idea.
But why would he need one if he's always been? It's something we can't answer. You know, it's something we can't even speculate about. He's always been. But even saying he's always been indicates that there's a time there's some kind of time involved. You know what I mean? It's just something we can't understand properly, fully. I don't think we will until we're there, until we're with them. Maybe not even then, because we're still not God. You know what I mean? But one of them.
That God exists in such a way that he does not depend on anything external to himself. It's true, God doesn't have an external explanation, but God does have an internal explanation for his existence. And that internal explanation is that God exists out of a necessity of his nature. It's part of who he is. And that option is not open to the atheist.
He exists out of a necessity of his nature. Well, but I don't know how that would. He exists out of necessity of his nature. He exists out of necessity of his nature. Well, I wouldn't even know what to say to that.
Because if he says, well, maybe
he exists because he does. He just exists.
Universe exists out of the necessity of its own nature. Well, then it's not a brute fact now. You're giving an explanation as to why the way in which you think the universe exists, to which I'm then going to pivot.
It's going to be a brute fact if there's not an answer for that. There hasn't ever been an answer given for that, attested or answer that it can be factual. So you're doing it subjectively then,
How do you know, right? You're claiming a metaphysical principle. The universe exists out of a necessity of its own nature. I'm going to ask you, how do you know that metaphysical principle? What epistemology do you have in place to put you in a position to know that? And then you're right back into the problem of skepticism.
We should jump back in, but so I want to put this out there.
Yeah, exactly. That does a bit, Frank. Yeah, it does. It's that God only exists for as long as he is believed in. True. Sounds like it's dead. And true.
And then maybe we can circle back around to this later in the video. But it's amazing to me how much of this comes down to a confusion between those two categories, what you just identified between necessity and contingency.
If you're a mod, Chillin, you can go to their channel, or you can see their channel activity. You can see the comments that they were banned for and stuff like that. You just click on their name, even after they've been banned or whatever. You can click on their name and go check that stuff out if need be. That's how you know sometimes who the soccer camps are. Like if you come in and they start. That's how some people know even if they haven't said anything bad. That's how some people know that they're soccer camps, because and you get to know the people as well who's doing them in general. But yeah. I think Vicky and Lisa Sandro picked up a knack for it now, you know what I mean? They're used to doing it, so they've got the knack of knowing.
What?
Like knowing who socks and stuff are, that kind of stuff.
Once you've done it for a bit, you start to notice like certain things that they do.
Of course. I never believed if they've been banned, they must have been talking shit. Yeah, exactly, chilling.
Just my observation, but let's jump back in. Let's see what happens.
Chemistry, physical reality, in any way, shape, or form is going to be the same from one moment to the next, or that our perception has any bearing in what's actually going on.
But notice you didn't answer my question.
What was your? Yeah, I think I did. Tell me how I did.
If I drop this pen and it goes up, has the uniformity of nature been broken?
As a general principle, no.
No, things go up. Things do go up. So if you drop that and it went up for some reason when it usually goes down, then you would have to investigate what was going on at that point. Was there a load of wind, or was there a downdraft coming from somewhere? Was there a breeze coming up from the floor somehow? Or you know what I mean? You've got to investigate that first. So no.
No.
In this case, has it been broken?
In that case, if God directly intervenes, then the law, the principle of uniformity in nature has not been broken. God has intervened in
this instance. Has it been broken if it goes up instead of down?
Define Define the law of uniformity in nature from a.
In this instance, it hasn't done. You haven't done it. So how can it be in this instance? You haven't done it. It hasn't gone up, so you can't say it in this instance. You're doing a thought exercise of thought, so you can't say it in this instance. It hasn't happened. Stupid.
Christian perspective.
If you stop right there,
Hey, DeWitt, good to see you, bro. Good to see you.
Now Doug's going to say, well, that's what I'm trying to get from you. When in fact, I think Joel is correct in asking Doug for his understanding of the Christian conception of the uniformity of nature, because it looks like he's not understanding.
Hay fever bugging you, babe. What's it doing? It's your nose in that.
It's my nose, and I'm starting to get a headache. I think it's my sinuses, though.
Did you find some antihistamines?
Yeah, never been so happy to find an antihistamine. No, but my head's been hurting for a couple of days, and I think it's my sinuses, isn't it?
I thought you would have bought
where
some.
It is. Huh?
I thought you would have bought some when you were out.
I've got some ibuprofen as well.
But I'm not saying, I thought you would have bought some when you were out, antihistamine.
No, because I was fine when we went out.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I think it's because I've got windows open and that, and people are cutting their grass, aren't they?
I've got my window open, definitely. I suppose that doesn't help. That doesn't help.
No.
Joel is saying, right? As a general principle, no, the uniformity of nature is not broken. And the general principle of uniformity provides the metric upon which we can recognize something as abnormal.
You'd have to find out if it had been broken. You'd have to find out why it went up first. Well, or try. And if there was no other reason, then God. Yes, absolutely. But why would he make a pen go up? Why? He wouldn't do that. Not for no reason.
Normal, like a pen floating to the ceiling or something like that. So it's not a principle of either it's broken or it's not broken, right? It's not like these laws are kind of these things where God kind of enters in and tinkers with the laws or anything like that. It's regularity that God imposes upon creation.
Like when God stopped the sun. It's not like he went and like said, oh, well, I have to wind this crank to stop that gear there. And then I have to turn this key and press that button in order for it to stop. He could just talk it and it would stop. It doesn't matter what type of mechanics or how it physically happens. It would just do it because he says it.
That provides the context for a meaningful identification of a particular instance of miracle. And so I think he's coming at it from completely, he's coming at it from a misunderstanding, I think.
As the conversation unfolds, I think this misunderstanding becomes more obvious.
Well, that's what I'm asking. I don't know your perspective. That's why I'm asking it. Okay. If the uniformity of nature, from my understanding, is that if I let go and it falls, I'm assuming that the next time I let go, it's going to fall.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's why are you assuming? What is the basis for that assumption? I mean, that should be the next question, right?
And his answer is going to be, well, because every time I've dropped it in the past, it's always fallen. But that's not.
What does loquacious mean? I know what terminal it means, but what does loquacious mean? I could look it up.
A basis to expect it will drop in the future unless you sneak in a non-observable presupposition, namely the presupposition that nature is uniform. And the question is, how do you know nature is uniform? How do you make sense out of uniformity within a non-God perspective? And I would say that they can't. And every time I hear people, or I read people in the comment section, like,
you talk a great deal. Okay, I got it.
But it's always functioned this way. I just point them to David Hume. David Hume points out that that's a bad answer. It's not me, right?
Right.
So I think it's important that people know a little bit about the history of philosophy before they kind of just make these blanket statements.
Uniformity of nature.
Yes.
Now, if I let go and it goes up because God made it go up.
Yes.
In this instance, has the uniformity of nature been broken?
So God transcends nature. So the general principle of uniformity of nature is unbroken.
Yes or no question.
Well, that's the thing. If God he did. God created everything. He created nature. He did that. So he can do what he wants with it. He can manipulate it any way he wants. He created it. We can't do that, but he can because he created it. It's simple.
Let's define uniformity in nature from a Christian perspective. Nature in general behaves uniformly unless God intervenes.
I know that, DeWitt. I got that.
And he is free to do so. So
the answer is no. It's not uniform.
Nature is uniform because God keeps it uniform unless God intervenes in such a way as to
unless God intervenes.
Yes, yes.
You have the uniformity of nature until God intervenes.
So what you've discovered is the principle that the Christian worldview allows for miracles. And so if God performs a miracle, the uniformity of nature is not absolute such that it limits God from intervening.
Yes, exactly. There it is. The way things work here in nature, it doesn't limit God. It doesn't stop God from doing stuff. It might stop us from doing it, but it doesn't stop God. Not at all. How can he God is God. He's the Almighty, the most powerful. He can't create something that is more powerful than him. Or whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. Something that he can't manipulate. You know? It's a mad thought. Like they say, he destroyed himself from the start, from the offset.
Interfering in nature.
So it's not uniform.
Nature is uniform unless God performs a miracle.
So it's sometimes mostly uniform, but sometimes not.
Mostly,
no, it is uniform. Oh my goodness! How doesn't he get that? Sometimes not. No, it's still uniform.
Uniform, but sometimes not. If God intervenes, if God intervenes, yes, that's correct.
And
yes.
My question, Nate, is what is he trying to demonstrate then? I mean, I think Joel is correct. You've discovered, you've uncovered the idea that within the Christian worldview, God can do miracles. Yeah, surprise, right? This isn't a surprise. I don't see what the point of the line of questioning was.
Let me run this by you and see what you think. There's another assumption underlying this conversation that I think should be identified at some point in the discussion, and it's probably something like Doug looks at nature and sees laws, which, I mean, that is actually how we tend to speak about nature, right? The laws of nature, the laws of physics. But the mistake.
That's right. We do. But the thing is, whatever that is, God's the one that did that. You know, he can do whatever he wants with whatever he wants, with whatever he made. Sorry, whatever he wants with whatever he wants. That makes no sense. He can do whatever he wants with whatever he made. Yeah. Hey, little wings. Good to see you. Good to see you. Aye, he certainly is.
I think Doug is making is in thinking that what we are observing with our eyes.
There you go, bro.
I was going to ask, how long is this debate now?
It's 51 minutes long, and we're 14 minutes in.
We got a ways. Okay.
We got a little bit, yeah.
All right.
And it's not even the full debate, as you can see. It's not. It's only obviously they're putting that. But because I don't know where the debate came from, I can't go to the source, and you know what I mean. I have to use this video, which I don't mind because I don't mind bouncing off what he says and stuff, you know.
And I'm still listening. Though for me, it's like I'm still stuck in thoughts like that happened right at the beginning. But yes. I don't have to go into that now. We can keep listening.
Okay.
Is this some kind of inviolable law? And it's not. And see, that's the thing that probably could be highlighted in a conversation like this. The reason Doug sees some kind of tension or contradiction is because he sets up his premise already assuming that there is no God behind nature. Because if there was no God behind nature,
that's it. Because of the presupposition, that's why he's going to say those things, because he can't understand it. He can't not come from that point of view, except when he's trying to bloody obfuscate, of course.
And the laws of nature are somehow deterministic because of event causation. You know, there's no agency, there's no intentionality in event causation. It's just previous things that happen that cause the next thing to happen, right? And that's the issue. If the laws of nature derive from agent causation.
I can't stop the sun from going round and round and round and round, or the moon, or any of it. But God can. He did. He put it in motion. The skies, they have the skies. He put them in motion so he can do what he wants with them. You know? It's so nuts that people even atheists don't understand that. You'd think it'd be even easy for an atheist to understand if they thought, right, okay, I don't believe there's a God, but what if? And he could do all these things, then wow.
You know, that is, God not only created the world, but also sustains the world. I mean, there's all kind of scripture for this, right, Eli?
Yeah.
Well, then the regularity we see in nature is all due to agent causation. And guess what? That also explains miracles, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he would say that the laws of
he created something that a system that can reproduce itself, like humans can reproduce, animals can reproduce, you know. They say that oil and all that, crude oil and all that, comes from dinosaurs or everything squished together and all that kind of stuff. But no, I just think it's there in the ground, and it he's made a system that will reproduce, kind of reproduce, but it's a cyclical thing, and it restores itself. You know what I mean? It replenishes. That's the point I was trying to get to. It replenishes itself. You can grow stuff, eat it, get seeds from it. Do you know what I mean? It's amazing what God created, and they try and say this came from a chance. A chance, and this chance came from nothing. This chance event came from nothingness, whatever nothingness is. You know, nothing exploded and became something, whatever nothingness is. You know, which is unimaginable because you just think of nothing as a big space of blackness. But even that is not nothing. A big space of blackness is still something, isn't it? We can't understand nothing. Really, nothingness. Hey, Brian.
Nature are immutable, although people have assumed that. I mean,
and Gematria, good to see you.
Have someone like Baruch Spinoza believe that the laws of nature were immutable, and so a miracle would be kind of a contradiction. I want to take a guess. I think he would say that it's possible that they can be broken, but due to our the observation of its regularity in the past, there's no reason to expect it to change in the future. But again, that already has a bunch of presuppositions that we're going to want to challenge baked into that whole thing too. So I'm not sure exactly if he would say that they are immutable. But those are just my thoughts there.
Maybe he'll say, let's find out.
Do you believe in uniformity in nature?
Yeah, I presuppose it.
Okay. On what basis?
I presuppose it.
You presuppose it on what basis? I presuppose it. What?
Suppositions don't need a basis.
So, on what basis?
What? It doesn't mean that. What do you mean a presupposition doesn't need a basis? How did you come to the presupposition? What do you mean it doesn't need what? Oh, I'm sorry. This guy.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
Presuppositions don't need a basis.
No. If you know what a presupposition is without a basis, you know what that's called, Nate?
What is that?
That's called arbitrariness, right? Which is actually one of the two intellectual sins that a person can commit when reasoning. The other one is inconsistency. So if those who watch this channel are interested in apologetics and things like this, you want to look for two things. Inconsistency and arbitrariness, right? We don't allow inconsistencies, right? You can't let people argue and go around contradicting themselves. And you don't let people get away with just making unsubstantiated, foundationless assertions, right?
Preach.
Which is precisely what they, the skeptic often says what we're doing, right?
I still want to over that. He said that presupposition doesn't need a basis. Come on. I'm really dumbfounded by that, honestly. Never heard so much stupidness in all my life. Wow.
They're brute facts or they're
and they say we have faith. Lemon out.
I just presuppose it. Yeah, cool. Do you have a basis for that? Well, I don't need a basis. All right, cool. God exists. I don't need a basis, and I'm just as rationally justified as you. You see, now you undercut the very possibility of logical demonstration of any fact. Because if I can start from a foundation that has no justification, I can just assert it.
Then is. I'll have to look through because I don't think it explained in the description. I'll have to look through the descriptions again. Yeah.
and we can just be arbitrary, and that undercuts one's ability to draw logical conclusions and actually have a foundation for knowledge.
Yeah. Well, and I like what you're doing right there, because that is a debate tactic. I mean, you are essentially highlighting the strategy. You're highlighting the tactic that they're performing right now for everybody else who's witnessing over the shoulder of this conversation. And that's what needs to happen, because a lot of this happens at like top speed, so to speak, and it just goes right past people. He's just made a claim. But if that's the case, we can claim whatever we want to and just call it what we call it, properly basic. I mean, that's what he's reaching for anyway.
Do you assume uniformity in nature?
I presuppose it. A properly basic belief. As Greg Bonson said. You know Greg Bonson.
Yes. What is the metaphysical principle that explains why your presupposition in that case is valid?
It's a properly basic belief, but you don't justify presuppositions.
Can you?
He didn't answer the question. He just repeated the claim.
Yes.
And he needs some kind of explanation as to why he wants to start with the uniformity of nature as properly basic. You can't just say that, you know?
Now, if he says, well, I need to presuppose it because it would be irrational not to. So he would say that he could say that the uniformity of nature is true by the impossibility of the contrary. It's a fundamental assumption. But then if he argues by the impossibility of the contrary, he's giving what we call a transcendental argument. That's a transcendental argument. In which case he's offering a justification, which is the very thing he said he couldn't do about presuppositions. Right?
Yeah.
So he either is arbitrary, in which we're going to fault him for that, or he gives a justification and he undercuts his own assertion that presuppositions have no justification. So he's got a problem both ways there.
Man.
Can you answer the question?
I did.
What is the metaphysical principle that gives rise to...
I don't believe metaphysical exists.
You don't believe in anything metaphysical?
Right.
Okay. So what is your access to the future upon which you believe that you have some knowledge about it?
Inference. I infer it.
From what?
Uniformity of nature, which I presuppose as a property of the nature.
You just said you
real quick.
Yeah.
Hold on. You say the presupposition needs no basis, but you're saying you're inferring it. From what? That's a basis, isn't it? If you infer something, it comes from somewhere. Infer is like deducting something to get to the answer. But you're saying that, I don't know if he's talking about his presupposition, if he's just talking out his butt now.
So he says, I don't believe in metaphysics. So let's kind of outline this for your audience here. So when we talk about worldviews, when we talk about philosophical perspectives or paradigms, every worldview is composed of at least three foundational categories. The first category would be metaphysics. So to really simplify, metaphysics is the study of reality. It asks the question fundamentally, what is real? And of course, people are going to answer that question in a wide variety of ways, right? If you are a Mormon, your metaphysic is going to be very different than, say, if you were a Muslim or a Christian, right? So everyone has a theory of reality. Everyone has an epistemology, a theory of knowledge, how we know what we know. And there are different kinds of epistemologies, Nate, right? There's empiricism. Knowledge comes through sensation or observation and experience. That's the look and see theory of knowledge. You have rationalism, which is the stop and think type of epistemology, in which you start from basic principles and deduce the rest of your worldview. You have mysticism. People think that knowledge comes through mystical experience. And then you have Christian theism, which asserts that knowledge comes via revelation. Right. So everyone has a theory of knowledge. And then there's the third category in ethic, which asks the question, how should we live our lives? Every single person has at least those three categories in a worldview. Now, what Doug has done here is that he says, I don't believe in metaphysics, okay, which would help.
Reality, what a concept, Robin Williams. Where did he say that on? Good Will Hunting or something? Yeah. Reality, what a concept. Reality is God's idea, isn't it? It was his concept before he done it. He obviously thought about it and then done it, you know. So I suppose it was a concept at one point.
Help clarify what he thinks about the nature of reality, right? But he's not giving that to us. He's like, metaphysics is bunk. But then he goes and he talks about epistemology, how we know what we know.
Yeah. Yeah,
But how on earth do you talk about the nature of knowledge without presupposing categories of reality first or simultaneously, right? So metaphysics and epistemology have to be working simultaneously. You don't get to talk about epistemology while holding metaphysics in your back pocket, pretending it doesn't exist. So I think he's got a very disjointed worldview at this point.
It's hokey pokey philosophy. Half in, half out.
Yes, it's what Van Til said this, Cornelius Van Til, who's considered the father of presuppositionalism. He says, you don't get to choose epistemologies like you choose hats, right?
Yeah.
You don't, like, oh, what hat am I going to wear today, right? It's like, well, I'm going to wear this one. Maybe today I'll be a rationalist. Maybe today I'll be an empiricist. And you don't get to choose your metaphysic as though it has no bearing on your theory of knowledge. They go hand in hand.
Right.
And this is the disjointed nature of unbelieving thought.
Yeah.
You infer it from what?
I mean, he's got to think about the theory of knowledge, even as an atheist. Where does it come from? How do you get it? Surely he thinks about metaphysics. He says he doesn't believe in the metaphysical. I mean, nature of reality.
And a quick. Oh, sorry.
Go for it. I'm just thinking. Some people confuse me.
Like that other guy was saying earlier, presupposition doesn't require justification. It's like, well, it does to the person that you're acquiring belief from.
Of course.
Right.
Of course it does.
I mean, because it's like even that atheist would require that from the Christian. Like, well, why do you justify believing in God? And you can get into it. Well, because sin is real and we need to be saved from it. And there's only one way. And, well, he'd be like, well, you still require my belief. And then the Christian will be honest and be like, yes, you do need to believe.
Yeah. He wouldn't be happy with us saying, well, it just is. That's kind of like what he's doing. Weird. Anyway.
And so from the atheist point of view is also what I'm thinking. It's like, where it's just by default, they're often not forthright that they require belief. They think all their mountains of, so-called evidence are able to meet the threshold for proof when it never does. They literally, their eyes are darkened in a way, where they just, make that leap of faith and forget to tell that to people.
Exactly.
And it's like, hold on. It's like when both sides require belief and one is more honest than the other, even if I weren't a Christian, I can think back before I was, like, I would still go with the Christian because they make more sense. They have more to offer. Yeah. So I'm done.
Absolutely. No, well said. Well said. I'm glad you said it. Sorry, I'm just taking back to Vicky. She's got a bit of a headache, so she's left. Cool. Right. Yeah. Absolutely, Derek. Absolutely, bro.
From my presupposition.
So would you say that your presupposition is an arbitrary assumption?
No, it's not arbitrary. It's based on my properly basic belief, as Greg Bonson said.
Properly basic belief makes sense in the Christian worldview. How does it make sense in your worldview?
Well, take the pen. I drop it, it falls. I drop it, it falls.
You're describing the
and you make me a bet. What's going to happen next time? Yeah, I could be wrong. I don't believe in that I'm infallible, but I can say, hey, it's pretty reasonable that if I drop this pen, it's going to fall because I've done it 1,000 times.
You said it's pretty reasonable.
So right there. So help me. Isn't Joel reaching for an immaterial mind? And isn't Doug? Because
that's kind of what he's trying to do. Yeah. Right. I don't know. It's like it's trying to describe having a supernatural mind whilst having a natural mind. Try to describe something you completely know nothing about, never heard of. Nobody's give you any clues about it at all. That's kind of where it's coming from. Giggity. What's giggity, Sandra? The quagmire of subjectivity. Bless you guys in chat. Just looking at your chat a little bit. I'm a little bit quiet right now. I'm just reading a bit of your chat. Bless you guys.
He's using these key terms, right? Like belief, inference, reasonability, or whatever. Don't these terms betray a mind? Doug is talking like it doesn't exist.
Yes.
Well, I'm not sure. He doesn't believe that those are ultimate, like from a transcendent perspective, right? Because he's an atheist. And as you'll learn later in the discussion, I think he's a naturalist or a materialist. I'm not sure. I'd have to, maybe he brings it up. But what Joel is trying to get at is his foundation, his justification. And what does Doug appeal to? He appeals.
Is that not from American Dad or something, or one of those cartoons, giggity giggity sort of thing? Is that not one of them cartoons? I don't watch them, so I don't know much about them.
Appeals to the repeated successes of the past, which David Hume points out is not a basis for projecting the expectation of the pen to drop in the future, right? Again, Joel is doing a great job, but Doug is being defeated by David Hume. And of course, Joel, I think, is answering him adequately, but I mean, David
Family Guy, got you.
Hume is, refuting him in the background, if you know kind of the philosophy behind all of this and the issue of the problem of induction.
Yeah.
Can you explain? Yeah. Can you explain that? How is it pretty reasonable?
That people won't laugh at me if I say it will fall.
So what's reasonable is what people won't laugh at you for saying?
I'm giving you a very terse, quick answer because we got 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's a bit mad to say that. It's wow. Give a crap what people think.
Well, give me a longer one.
Give you a longer one?
You said it's reasonable to assume that you have knowledge about the future. You've said that you presuppose, and I understand
through testing and demonstrations. Yeah, like
demonstration of the future and testing of the future.
So stop right there, Nate. Through testing and demonstration, but is it not the case that testing and demonstration already presuppose the uniformity of nature, which is the very thing that is under discussion in this particular aspect of their interaction? Right?
Yeah.
How do I know nature is uniform? Well, every time I've dropped the pen, it's always fallen. Well, that doesn't justify your expectation in the future. So why do you think nature is uniform? Well, because 100 times I've dropped the pen. Right? You're just repeating the same thing that doesn't answer the question. Again, not Eli, not Joel, David Hume, right? I mean, this is, they're just not answering this fundamental question. And the reason why this is relevant to apologetics, Nate, is that it is one of the fundamental assumptions of the entire scientific enterprise. So if you don't have a justification for the uniformity of nature and then the inductive principle, you actually lose a foundation for all of science. And this is why...
Give me a long one, not what you want to hear from your girlfriend. See what you like, bro.
David Hume is a nightmare for a lot of atheists who are actually they're well read in the history of philosophy. I mean, David Hume took empiricism to like its consistent end. And when you take it to its consistent end, it really actually destroys the very foundation of the things we want, things like science and so forth. So very, very important to be aware of these issues here.
So you've been in a debate, and you've been in a series of debates, I think, and more than one. But this is definitely like a tactic question at this point. Formally speaking, if this were cross-examination, Joel is doing everything he should be doing. Would you, but this is not, is this really a formal debate? This isn't really a formal. So like in this.
So far it hasn't really been, well, what I've seen of it wasn't really, it's not a debate as such. I mean, are they debating anything? They haven't really got far for it to be a debate, but a lot of debates do go that way, don't they? But it doesn't even get off one point.
And from my point of view, it's like, my initial thought from the get-go, I mean, these guys keep touching back on it, the Christian guys, where it's the same, they got the same idea I do. It's just that, like, with mine, it would have nipped it in the bud earlier. But, I mean, these guys are doing it for the sake of the atheist, I suppose, or others, where they can continue going down that ladder and explaining everything, from the atheist point of view. Like for me, like, I can do that, but do I want to? Or, I mean, is it necessary?
No, of course.
Right.
I get it.
All right, go ahead.
In this kind of an environment, does it not behoove you? So let's say you're Joel, to do what you're doing right now, which is to say, like Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell, like, time out. This is what Doug is doing, and just call it out.
Saved by the Bell.
Right. I would either say it to
when I wake up in the morning.
Doug, or I would direct my attention to the
It's
audience and be like,
alright.
I
It's
want to
not
bring to
Saved
your
by the
attention that there's
Bell.
actually the conversation that we are having
I used to like
is
I did used to like Saved by the Bell.
we need to understand the background music, the things that are playing in the background, and the background music is the history of philosophy. This is not the first time these issues have been brought up. The issue with the pen dropping and uniformity and things like this. And Joel should point out that his critiques are from his side, not Joel's side, the atheistic side, the skeptic side. It's the skeptic that Doug is unable to answer, right? The presuppositionalist or the apologist in this context is simply taking the standard objections of David Hume and applying it to Doug in this particular instance and requiring Doug to give a justification for the thing that the best atheistic philosophers fail to do. Bertrand Russell, same thing. Bertrand Russell is a very well-known atheist philosopher, and he was unable to address this issue as well. So, yeah, I mean, that this is why knowing the history of philosophy is so important, because it can help inform the current interaction, right? The atheist and the Christian, we assume a whole host of philosophical categories that have been addressed and are very in-depth, right? You need to be able to bring those relevant portions of the history of philosophy out and demonstrate, listen, this is what you're doing, Doug. This isn't me. This isn't Joel.
If I assume something, then it's based on past events, past happenings. If I assume something, it's not just out of the blue on why I assume it. Oh, I just think that because of nothing. It's because of past experience, what always happens, you know, the normal way of things. And that's why if I was going to assume that's why it would be. Sorry, Derek, go on.
Oh, sorry. I just had a quick thought. It's like, well, when I think of philosophy, what I look for to simplify it is, do they require my belief? I mean, dude, the large lion's share of philosophy out there, the answer is an absolute yes, they do.
100%.
And so,
100%.
and when you involve belief, you are by default demanding faith in something, trust. Yeah. And is it going towards God, or is it, going back towards man?
I mean, philosophy being regarded as a science is unbelievable, because all you're doing, it's ponderers. It's people just sitting there thinking, what if? I mean, pretty much, what if this, then that? And then assuming that if this, then that kind of stuff. That's just thinking. You know? So it's science, just to sit and think. Okay.
You're against David Hume. How do you respond to David Hume's skepticism? Right?
Yeah.
And then set Doug up, not against Joel, but against David Hume. See how he fares against David Hume. I'd like to know this. By the way, in his debate with
Frank, the guy truly is loquacious, Maxine. That's true. That is true, though. I like it.
Gordon Stein. And I know you've covered the debate between Greg Bonson and Gordon Stein.
You and I did, didn't we?
Correct. And Dr. Bonson actually brought this point up. He says, Dr. Stein, what is your response to David Hume? And of course, he was like, well, I haven't read David Hume in a long time. And so Dr. Bonson threw a softball at him. He explained David Hume's position. And then he says, now, do you have a response to David Hume? And he goes, well, I disagree with him here, but I agreed with him in a lot of other areas. I'm like, cool. So you don't have a response to David Hume. So at that point, I would just bring up David Hume and let Doug box with Hume for a little bit.
That's good.
I'm just trying to read this little bit over here. And apologetics can be overcome if you're an atheist, agnostic, whatever, Catholic, Latter-day Saint, Buddhist, or Lord knows what I would have said.
I agree.
No, demonstrating that the past works a certain way.
Yes.
And so we can make a guess what the future will do based on a presupposition of the uniformity of nature, which we could be wrong. We admit we can be wrong.
Yes.
But and you admitted you could be wrong too with the uniformity of nature, because sometimes God intervenes through miracles.
That's not admitting that I could be wrong. That's encompassed in my worldview. That means that I'm.
Yeah, that's part of it. I'm not saying that nature is wrong because something happens against nature. That comes as part of believing in God. Well, we completely agree with them there. Completely.
Correct. Yep, correct, PJ.
I don't mean to sound arrogant
Okay.
here, but that means the Christian worldview is right.
Yeah, it's encompassed my worldview too. That it,
Right.
you know,
Right. So we can stop here. So in Joel's worldview, he can provide a justification both for expected regularity and unexpected miracles.
Events.
Both of them are
Exactly.
encompassed within the Christian worldview. I have a basis to expect that the future will.
Exactly. God is the best explanation for everything. And do you know why? Because he's true. Hey, Sunnyshine, good to see you. Good morning from Victoria, Oz. PJ and chat. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you, man. Always a pleasure.
Most likely be like the past. But I also have a foundation to know that there's a God who actually intervenes. So both of those are well grounded in Joel's worldview. But I don't think anything. I actually think that given the atheistic worldview,
it supports.
They should be in a position to believe
the Christian worldview. What he was just saying like that. It supports it. What he's trying to say to go against it is supporting it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Believe in miracles even more so. Because in a universe that is completely random, right?
Yeah.
Anything goes, right? Oh, well, it's not random. The universe acts in a consistent way.
I know.
And you know this how?
There you go. That the universe was random. Not I mean, it was it exploded from nothingness, but yet everything's uniform. It happens all the time, and but it's random. This is a random event, and things randomly happen, but yet it's uniform. It goes against what they even believe. What I mean is they contradict themselves without a doubt.
So is the universe? This is an interesting thing. This comes up in discussions of logic, Nate. I'm often told that the atheist has no problem in justifying logic in their own worldview because logic is simply a linguistic construct that describes the consistency of reality. And so the laws of logic, like the law of identity, the law of non-contradiction, the law of excluded middle, these are linguistic constructs we speak, and they describe reality's consistency. And then you kind of back up the question even more. Okay, so then why is reality consistent? Well, that's just the way it is. Now you go right back to the issue of brute fact and arbitrariness, right? The Christian doesn't have, it doesn't fall into that.
That's the kind of answer they wouldn't take from you, just the way it is. That's what I was saying earlier. They wouldn't take the answer from you. You said, well, it's just the way it is, especially if it's especially within about half,
fall of arbitrariness because we reject brute factuality. But that's another debate. But you can see how all of these are kind of related.
It opens the door to other concepts as well that could be possibly explored. But I like what you're highlighting. And it seems like Doug is missing everything.
Maybe some freaky thing happens.
Yeah, that's okay. So anyone watching can obviously see that we've got one world.
In my worldview, that freaky thing would be the miracle. The rest of it is nature, God's nature, what God created. If it's out of the ordinary like that and impossible, that freaky thing is a miracle. God did it.
View in which there's a rational God who intervenes for particular purposes, and then there's any freaky thing can happen.
4 persons.
What's that?
Of 4 persons instead of 3.
You proposed Christianity, not me. That's not. I didn't once even grant that was a valid assumption.
See, I think you borrow from my worldview.
Okay, that's an interesting argument. I've heard that before. I think it's. I do think it's
disagree with it.
Yeah, I think it's funny, but and I think rhetorically it can be powerful for people who haven't investigated it. But the idea that you have an assumption about the way the future is going to work, and by your own admission or statement, you infer it, and you say that you've conducted testing, but your testing assumes that nature is uniform. So you've tested things in the past, and you assume that the future will be like the past, which is an arbitrary assumption. So
you do the same thing.
No, my worldview can ground that assumption because
my worldview can ground that.
Ground it.
Yeah, it's my presupposition that the universe exists, has the properties that it has, that we can learn about it.
Don't you think, Eli? I mean, this is my take after watching enough of these exchanges, not just this one. The fundamental basis for the typical atheist to challenge the Christian comes down to the fact that it's like they want to set their worldview tent, so to speak, the starting point from where they derive their worldview in the first place. They want to set that way downstream from the Christian, and they don't want to explain why. So the Christian wants to start back several metaphysical steps and not take for granted concepts like why there is something rather than nothing, why there is objective morality, what is the grounding for logic and rationality.
Oh, silly Nate! Don't you know?
That's when they say, oh, it's just because it is. That's when the just because it is comes in.
That why questions are just silly. Who said that?
That's what I mean.
They're just don't ask why questions. Science is not concerned with you get all this kind of hand waving, right? And then you slap a PhD on the person who says it, and it becomes canon law, right? I mean, you don't get to hand wave. Go ahead,
but it's even worse than that, because here comes the atheist and he's ready to challenge the Christian now, ready to throw down, but they're challenging the Christian explanation.
It's a bit like gravity, doesn't it? It just becomes the thing. Everything hinges on. And well, talking from the baller's point of view, obviously, like gravity, it's they think it's been proved, but nowhere does it say it's been proved. You know what I mean? It's a definite thing. Gravity is a definite thing. It's definitely happened. There's no way it can't be happening, but it's never been proved. Yeah, it's proved. It's real. It's a fact, but it's never been proved. So. It's like the gravity. It's like the gravity,
By taking for granted the very things the Christian is explaining in the first place.
Yes.
What do you?
One might say, Nate, that they are borrowing from the Christian worldview to argue against the Christian.
That's right. Sunshine. Presupposition can be anything a human mind can come up with. It doesn't make it reality. Exactly. Of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. But he was trying to say that a presupposition doesn't have to have a basis. Of course it does. You haven't got a presupposition from nothingness. You know what I mean?
Christian worldview.
I would say steal, but
yes. Well, I was trying to be nice.
You were kind. This is why I've said many times, a very fruitful way forward in discussions like these is to force the skeptic or the non-believer to justify their starting point, which it's basically what Joel is doing now, right?
Well, it should anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is what we call an arbitrary assertion, which means it has no ground.
I think your worldview is arbitrary.
I understand.
Now, stop right there. So notice he's committing a tu quoque fallacy, right? I mean, he just said that his presupposition is not arbitrary. But then Joel repeated and said his assertion is arbitrary, and he says, but so is yours. So which is it? Is his starting point arbitrary or is it not arbitrary? I mean, there's inconsistencies all over the place.
They'll contradict themselves at every blooming step. You just let them talk. Just let them talk a little bit.
So, did you notice that?
Well, yeah, and it goes to a question I was going to ask you later.
Okay.
But I guess I can ask it to you now. I mean, like, what's his name? Doug? Is he worth? Yeah. Is he worth
that? Yeah, absolutely correct. My faith assumes a future, just as it reminds me it is not guaranteed. Absolutely. Well said.
Worth engaging? I mean, when you see stuff like this, my answer is no. What's your take?
I mean, it depends. I mean, you don't want to waste your time with someone who's being disingenuous.
Well, that's it.
So if you want to, you enter into the discussion with goodwill and
like with Luke at a day. I've given him so many chances. Pat's given him hundreds of chances. You know what I mean? It becomes stupid to keep continuing to do so. You know what I mean? So why continue entertaining it? That's the same type of thing as this.
The person comes off as okay. It seems like they're wanting to engage, but the thing with Doug,
if they're misrepresenting, if they're, you know what I mean, if they're not actually engaging properly, if they're just wasting your time, then it's a waste of actual time. You know what I mean?
And my interactions with him have been respectful in the past and things like that. So I have no animosity towards Doug.
You've engaged him.
Oh, I've engaged him years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And he appears sometimes in the comment section when I used to go live and things like that. So, I mean, I don't mind engaging what he has to say, but sometimes, you know, you kind of get the impression, is he really asking a genuine question, or is this, he asks questions in a very interesting way that seems like it's, you know, to quote, you know, General Akbar from Star Wars, it's a trap, right? That's what it seems like, a trap question, which, by the way, I'm sure you would agree, trap questions are not necessarily bad. Okay. But the way he seems to use it.
Not if it's a question that they're trying to do, and I got you with gotcha. You know, nah, I mean, I understand trap question if you're being genuine with it, but not trying to if you're trying to prove a point, fine. But I don't like them as such, even if you're just trying to prove a point. But mainly people use them for got ya. See, you full crap. I suppose they serve a purpose. A trap question.
Sometimes it seems to be, it can come across a little disingenuous, but that's irrelevant as to whether.
Gematria. Of course, we have a guy hypothetically picking up a pen and dropping. Of course. I think you might be a little bit behind Gematria. In the video, I mean, I don't mean in thinking.
His points are accurate, so we need to address the specific points in the interaction.
Yeah, that plus this tactic. What do you call this? Like the SNL Boston character, like you are. Like at this point, he's just kind of like, no, you are. I don't even know what to make of this.
Right. I know what he's trying to do, and I think if I were an atheist, I probably would do something similar, but I would be straight up about what I'm doing. And basically what he's trying to do is he's trying to show that
something. I haven't even checked my Rumble side today. Sorry, well, there's 2 people watching. It's all good. I get more people watching on Rumble side when I'm doing movie nights. But, bless the 2 people. It's there. Bless you guys.
The presuppositional approach of which Joel holds to is something that you could easily reverse. So, for example, when I argue using the transcendental argument that the Christian worldview is true by the impossibility of the contrary, the Christian worldview provides what we call the necessary preconditions for knowledge and intelligible experience. The atheist will often take that as a bare assertion. And so what the atheists will do is they'll turn it around and they'll make a contrary assertion, thinking that they're demonstrating, well, if you don't believe me, then why should I believe you? Because that's what you're doing, right? So they're trying to show that we are making a bare authority.
That's the one for one. That's the one-upmanship. Silly way of doing things, but we do it, don't we? We do. No, and I don't mean all the time, all of us, but we do as people do it. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Claim. But that's actually not what we're doing. A transcendental argument is an actual argument. It has an actual logical structure, and we're trying to actually demonstrate that that's true. We don't simply assert it, right? It needs to be argued for. So I don't think he's trying to reverse the roles and trying to show, well, I'm going to do a presuppositional shtick on you. But I think he does that from a misunderstanding of what the presuppositional, apologetic, and transcendental argument's trying to do.
I was going to say, it just seems like it's going over his head, what Joel is doing.
Yeah, but my worldview, my metaphysical principles can they naturally lead to uniformity in nature.
My worldview naturally leads to it. The universe exists. We both share that properly basic belief. We look. Well,
you believe the universe exists, but you
believe God exists.
Correct, and that belief gives rise to all my other beliefs.
Right, and my belief gives rise to all my other beliefs. We're basically at equal footing. We're both foundationalists. You have a different starting point.
I'm not a foundationalist. I'm a presuppositionalist. Greg. Sorry, Doug. Doug. Sorry. Isn't
this fun?
I want to say this.
Oh my
Doug. It should be Doug because he dug himself a big hole at the start of this debate. If it was a debate. Me, it's been a load of bloody word salad. Some of it, not a whole lot, obviously. I agree with the guys in there that are reviewing it a lot. But the ones on the debate. Obviously, I agree with some of them to a certain degree, but a lot of it has just been word salad. But I get it.
Gosh. I want to play, I don't want to be disrespectful. I want to play carnival music behind this right now. It's. I think I've seen enough. Actually, let's let's do this. I'm done.
I kind of don't believe him. He's seen enough, but there's still like 12 minutes left. Wow.
Well, they see the merry-go-round too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. By that, good seeing you again, there, bro. Too many ists and ists and ists. Abel's too many. Too many ist and ist and ist labels. Too many. Absolutely, bro. Right. Let's see what these boys see for a bit.
Let's evaluate Doug's approach here. What is your take on Doug and what he tried to accomplish right there?
There you go.
He's trying to show.
Jill's just got the carnival music going. Look, there you go. There we go. Sorry.
That anything the presuppositionalist can say, the atheist can say with, the same. I mean, it's just you're trying to demonstrate that Joel's position is arbitrary. It's just a bare assertion. He can do this. Doug can do the same thing. So it's not really a good approach. And they talk about it later. Joel says, I think the presuppositional approach is a very powerful approach. And Doug will say, oh, I don't think it's powerful at all. To which I said, if you think it's not powerful for the reasons that he gave in this video, that's not very convincing at all. I don't think that the presuppositional approach is as easily mimicked. He even misrepresented the approach, claiming that Greg Bonson agreed with him that the situation is that the Christian has presuppositions, the atheist has presuppositions, and so all we can do is kind of just disagree that we have different presuppositions, and that's it. And he's like, that's just like Greg Bonson taught. And of course, Doug hasn't read Greg Bonson, but surely he would know that someone watching the show, right, would have read Greg Bonson. That's not even remote. I mean, literally, Greg Bonson says the opposite. It's not like he kind of almost was there and then kind of misrepresented a little bit. He literally attributes something to Greg Bonson, where Bonson actually asserts the exact opposite. Bonson doesn't believe that you can't justify your presuppositions. If Dr. Bonson didn't believe you can justify your presuppositions, then he would have never used a transcendental argument for the existence of God, because that's literally what the argument seeks to do, to justify and to demonstrate the truth of one's ultimate starting point. So I think there was a little bit of misrepresentation. It's difficult to see, Nate, if it was intentional or unintentional. So I don't want to kind of go in that realm, but it's really hard to think it wasn't.
I wonder if it's both. I wonder if in certain parts he knows, and it's probably in his mind he's being playful, and then in other areas I think a lot of this is just going over his head. It seemed to me that Doug. So now I'm trying to zoom out and talk about the whole entire thing here, right? Okay. Doug wanted to put Joel
an overall synopsis of it. He destroyed himself. I think that's enough of it. That's enough said for it. You know what I mean?
Through heated cross-exam, right? But he just doesn't fully understand Joel's position. He doesn't understand what he's interrogating. And so this actually would be kind of a debate strategy conversation. Now, Doug should go away and really seek to steelman Joel's arguments before he really challenges Joel again, because Joel's not going to let him get away with it. Joel's a bit of a beast. This is the first time I've seen him.
This is actually a small segment of a broader live stream in which he kind of interacted with a whole host of people. So, I know we were going to...
Oh, that would have been interesting to see, but obviously a lot longer.
To talk about some stuff towards the back end of this show, but I want to give a shout out to Joel. Guys, Joel's YouTube channel is the Think Institute, and he interacts with atheists and skeptics. You could see...
I'm glad you said that. I'm going to go check it now. I'll get it. I'm going to go see if it's that Think Institute. Oh, hold on. No, it was his channel I was wanting. Oh, well, no, man. I'll go check it anyway.
What that looks like in real time. So he's interacted with a Buddhist. He's interacted with skeptics, agnostics, and it's just a great resource for people to see apologetics in action. I think Joel did an excellent job, although, it's tricky as to how, the questions were phrased and how, he was trying to kind of turn Joel's position against him. But I don't think that Doug succeeded to that end.
No, I don't either. I think that was pretty obvious. Well, let's, so let's sort of conclude here, but any concluding analysis or thoughts that you had that...
I found it. He's only actually got, he hasn't got that many subs actually, but I thought he'd be a bigger channel than that. He's only got about 6.36 thousand. A lot more than me, obviously, but his channel size, it's not huge. Okay, I found his link. The guy was in there. The guy was talking to the atheist in there. So I've got the channel. I might subscribe to that and have a look at what he's got and stuff. See if there's anything worth it in the future to do streams on. Let me just get his link for you guys, just in case you want to also sub or have a look at his stuff, whatever. All right. Let's have a quick scan. Videos. Things like Irresistible Grace explained why you can't choose God without God choosing you. Okay, atheists tried to stump me until I said this. Okay. Yep, that looks like a decent kind of channel. Okay. What are demons? Should Christians ask for things in prayer? Do Christians have evidence for their faith? That kind of stuff. Yeah, looks like a decent looking channel. I'll put the link in, guys. I've subbed anyway. There. Forgot it. There we go. Just in case you want to sub to the guy, it was actually in the debate. The one whose video this is that I've got is in the description anyway. Wise Disciple. So that's in the description. Here's one. The one that link I've just put in is for the guy who was in the debate. The one it was the presuppositionist. The presuppositionist. That one. It's got there. Let's get this done. It's got a few more.
Oh, here, real.
Oh, go on, Derek.
Okay.
Go for it.
Yeah, back to Doug, real quick.
Yeah. Go for it.
You know, it's like he told people he, doesn't have to have a justification for presupposition, and it's like, even though that's what he tells to people, I want to put myself in his shoes and see why I would say that.
Okay.
Where it's it's a cop out, really. Even that's what he says to people. It's like, okay, well. If I were in his shoes, how would I justify it to myself? Yeah. And the reason would be, it's not that I would have an exact disbelief in God, really. It's more like I'm trying to self-soothe by giving myself excuses to not believe.
Tickling your own ears.
Yeah, right. It's like excusing yourself from being responsible. Like, oh, well, it's okay. You can't justify a really good reason why you advocate what you do all your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And no, but with Doug, he does inwardly justify it to himself of why he has his worldview the way he does. He's self-soothing.
Yeah, well said. I agree. I completely agree. What did Sunny Shine just say something? As I live in Victoria, Australia, I was thinking today about the North Pole being at the top of the globe. So if I drop a pen, it's going sideways and slightly north. I see, I get you. Good thought. But yeah, Derek, yeah, absolutely. Get exactly what you're saying. I agree. Well said.
Came to mind as you were watching this?
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, KV, good to see you, bro. Good to see you.
When an atheist or a skeptic is engaging with a presuppositionalist, and they say, I'm going to get the presuppositionalist. What I'm going to do is I'm going to beat him at his own game. I'm going to use his
gotchas. That's what they specialize in. Gotchas. Never really pull them off, but that's what they try for. I mean, that's certainly a Duffy thing to do. Oh, that and repeat someone's name a billion times. Yeah.
Script against him. And skeptics think this is kind of like a cool tactic when you are literally doing what presuppositionalists have written, namely that everyone is a presuppositionalist at heart. Everyone has their presuppositions. Everyone is impacted by their assumptions and how they interpret and understand the world. And the whole goal of presuppositionalism is to expose that fact. So when the atheist thinks he's using a sneaky tactic, you're just affirming what we've always said, that you have presuppositions. I have presuppositions. So let's talk about worldviews instead of arguing endlessly over individual data points that we're going to disagree over because of our worldviews. So the presuppositionalist really wants to get to the heart of the disagreement. The atheist who wants to be like the presuppositionalist actually accomplishes what the presuppositionalist is getting at, because it forces us to talk about the foundations, which is where we wanted to go the whole time. So I thought that was an interesting attempt, but again, I think it's a 10-foot apologetic method flew right over his head.
Yeah. I mean, to me, probably the most, I don't know if I'm putting you on the spot, like what was the most?
Well, it usually does fly over the head. Either that or they just ignore it. I just hand wave it. That's kind of usually what happens. Another, again, obfuscation tactic. I'm mainly talking about ballers and that, but obviously he's going to be a baller as well. Yeah, so he probably does it in other areas. Excuse me, sorry.
Important moment in the debate, certainly for me, one of the most important was when Joel highlighted the fact that Doug has no basis for his presuppositions. But what would you say was like the best moment of the highlight?
I would say that, and I would say Doug's misrepresentation of Greg Bonson, and claiming that presupposition that Joel was a foundationalist. That shows that, and the reason why I thought this was key is that it showed that Doug doesn't know the position he's trying to mimic. He doesn't understand Joel's perspective, and so all of his critiques or his attempted questions and so forth kind of just fly right by. It doesn't hit the target.
Well, yeah, in a way they are. Yeah, they are. It gets to be, like I say, one-upmanship in the end.
Target at all. So I think exposing the arbitrariness and the fact that Doug really wasn't playing the same. I mean, Joel was playing chess and Doug was playing with micro machines. Like they were different, you know, as my aging myself, micro machines, are those still a thing? You know,
I don't know.
You know what micro machines are?
No, I know what they are. I don't know if they're still.
I was about to say, I was like, I'm not that old. You're older than I am.
You're so old, bro. I'm way older, but you're so much older. That's good. Yeah, Joel did an amazing job. Joel knows the issues. He's well read, clearly done this before. Any skeptic seeking to go up against Joel needs to do their homework.
Right. And the skeptic is going to say, you know, of course, you Christians are going to say that because you need to pat each other on the back and feel better about yourself. I know how this goes, how this game goes. But in reality,
I mean, they made me think that, but how many Christians actually pat themselves on, pat each other on the back? A lot of Christians are against a lot of other Christians, you know, especially when it comes to the divisions in the church and that, you know. There's a lot of infighting in Christianity.
If anyone's watching that interaction, Doug doesn't understand the position he's critiquing. He has an arbitrary foundation for everything he's saying. And Joel, I think, did a beautiful job in exposing that. Even if Joel is wrong about Christianity, he still effectively exposed the arbitrariness of Doug and his position. So
I was just going to say that an atheist who is objective intellectually should be able to say the same things that we're saying right now, even if they reject the Christian faith. That's right. Well, Eli, we're closing, but I want to make sure that everybody knows what's going on with you. You got any projects? You got any big announcements?
Yeah, we don't need to hear that. We don't hear that. That's it, pretty much done. That's that, guys. Yeah, I think he's pretty much contradicted himself from the start, didn't he? His little exercise didn't go the way he wanted it to do. He wanted it to be a big gotcha, but DeWitt's right. They're all playing into the gotcha thing. Definitely. I mean, we do. Oh, I thought my t-shirt was outside, isn't it? It's not. I think a lot of people do that subconsciously as well, not knowing. Some people completely know, obviously, but some people do it not knowingly. But in general, yeah, of course.
And do it, I agree.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Is that what you're that? And when in a debate supersedes morality, humanity is left in the dust. Yeah, absolutely.
It's like I compare it to, let's say me as a Christian and another guy as an atheist were to climb Mount Everest or something. The idea is to reach the top together, not to just be the first to the top and be like, ha ha ha.
Absolutely, definitely. I mean, of course. I mean, why are we? I mean, the other way, it just sounds so selfish and, you know what I mean, self-serving. I mean, why would lift your brother up, man? Definitely.
Right. Yeah, there is that to it. I mean, I'll compare it with climbing the mountain thing again. It's like, okay, and in this situation where I'm paired up with this guy, we're trying to climb this mountain. Am I, are we equal in this, or am I the Sherpa? Am I carrying the extra heavy burden here? And yet with atheists, it's always going to be yes.
don't be an equally yoked man.
Right. So
that is well.
There's that too.
That is well. Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. Right, done. I'm done. I don't know what the stream's about tomorrow. I haven't had a look yet. I'm not sure. But Flatzers, I'll see you guys in Flatzers tonight. But I'll play out with a Harry Mack tune first. Unless somebody's got any new tunes or anything in there. But in the meantime, if you've got any new tunes in there that I haven't seen or whatever, stick a link in or whatever. I'll play out with Harry Mack for now. Right, let's do it. Yeah, Derek, nice one for being on panel, bro. It's good to have you here all the way through.
And I mean, most everybody has heard this song, I'm sure, but I heard it on Pandora earlier, and it's been a while since I heard it. But it was I think already. Oh, do I have to look? I may. I'm sorry. One quick second.
Okay. Have you got a link to it? Like, is it a song I can play on YouTube?
You'll know it immediately. I know you will. But yeah, it's by Mercy Me.
Okay, right. I'll play it if I'm allowed to play it, and I'll just play this first. If you find the link for
go
it.
ahead. But yeah, it'll be Mercy Me and Homesick.
All right, if you've got a link for that, I'll be cool.
Okay.
Nice. Right. Let's see what he said.
Close this this podcast that we always close it out with a freestyle. I actually have your guys'
yeah, please let it be a freestyle. I hope it wasn't just one of his lives, bits of his life. It was a freestyle. Okay. Cool.
premiere tape pulled up. So I was just gonna throw on one of these joints and freestyle over it if you guys are good with that.
Of course.
Hell yeah. And just for fun, man, do you guys want to each throw me like a word for the freestyle?
Oh God, on the spot.
Yeah, sorry, we should have put that in the email. Have a word ready.
No, I
got one. Karma.
Yeah. Karma.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love it.
I'm saying violent.
Violent. Yes. Hell yeah. Let's get crazy.
Let's go profound.
Profound. Hell yeah.
Myriad.
Myriad.
Damn.
Woo!
Bit of a curveball.
Damn. Y'all came ready. All right. These are awesome. Karma, violent, profound, and myriad. OMA, Harry Mack, Flow State Podcast. You know what it is. Should we do this?
Let's go. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Here we go. Y'all can hear the beat, right?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. Hey, come on. Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Come on. Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2. Check it out. Yeah. H Mac off the dome, I can flow for days. On the pod, collaborating with OMA. We about to make it happen. Fans about to honor me. OMA, I'm the one music anomaly. Cop your tickets for the tour, it's going down. Cause every time I spit, good energy surrounds. Bringing positivity, I use my creativity over tracks and I stretch out with agility. They feeling me. Every time he's speaking, he's here. Rhyming over this classic joint by DJ Premier. Replayed by the O, the M, the A. Every time I grip up on the mic, I slay. I'm here to kill it, make you feel it when I'm all up in the session. Dropping blessings when he's rhyming, it's the truth he's manifesting. Yeah, raw lyrics, they be flying out my mouth. Much love to the quartet laid out on the couch, sitting down up in the laboratory. Y'all know I'ma spit the fire, and when I rhyme, I'm leaving y'all inspired. Situation in this rap game feels dire. Rappers probably couldn't hang if they was your background wires. Listen, I break it down for everybody near me. I turn it up a couple decibels and let them hear me. Yo, I'm here to lift you high, never here to harm ya. Cause in this life, I'm focused on good karma. Yeah, y'all know I'm bringing positivity. When I'm rhyming, y'all know I'm taking liberties. I'm doing what I'm feeling, cause actually how I act will be later coming back to me. That's the karmic cycle. Focus on that cause it's vital. Shoot my shot in this game like Michael. When I rhyme, other rappers stay silent cause they know the situation could get ultra violent. Yo, here's the switch, y'all. I'ma get the mass appeal. Every time that he raps, he's real. R.I.P. the guru. Lyrically, I bang bars off the top that turn into classics. Word to Gangstar. Every time I break it down,
down, they loving the sound. When I spit, people know it's profound. Yeah, I'm not with the violence, so for that it's silence. Over tracks, I'm wildin'. When I spit, I shine like ultraviolet. I'm wildin', I'm taking it beyond. H-Mac is insane with the flames, I go crazy with these songs. Yeah, I spit something harder than pavement, leave y'all in amazement. I'm profound with my statements. Yo, what did he say? Y'all know that exquisitely we find the most profound melodies through simplicity. And it's hard to do something simple. Hey yo, every time I rhyme, y'all know I'm about to make you show your dimples with the smiles. When he's spitting, he goes wild. Peep the profile. Other MCs are in denial, like the river out in Egypt. When I spit, they gon' repeat this, changing the game, cause we need this. Drop a doctor level thesis, let's go. H-Mac with the vocab. When he be rhyming right off of the mental, I be making people go mad. And you know that, on point like the pyramids. How many styles does he have? A myriad. Yeah, millions and millions, I shine brilliant. Put it in your system and I make the people feel this. Let's get it poppin', we up in the room. Yeah, OMA with them MF Dome. Classics coming off the top, now we live on the Primo. I make this look basic like a free flow. Every time that I come through, y'all know I'm about to harm you. Good karma, I hope y'all don't get attacked by the farmers. Yeah, we about to turn it up loud. Hey yo, the farmers is ready to release them cows. They like, how is this happening? A whole band that don't make sense logically. Y'all need to get up off of my property. I'm like, the farmers need to come through and give props. What's the matter? They ain't rocking with this 90s hip-hop classic shit. We gon' keep the speakers thumping. OMA and Mac, come and rock with us in London.
What? Crazy. That's wild.
Big up.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was sick.
Nice. Right. Derek's one. And bless you guys in chat. Nice one, guys. Thanks for the compliments. Always a pleasure. Merci me.
And I'm just gonna say, yeah, see you guys at Flats's later. God bless you all in the meantime. And yeah, and DeWitt, you're an absolute blessing yourself, bro. Like
Yeah,
everybody here
DeWitt's cool,
is.
man. DeWitt's real cool. Come on. Let me skip it. Hurry up. There's no skip thing. Hurry up. Right. Oh, come on. I bet it's got to give me another ad. Oh, yes. Thank you. Right. There we go.
All right, I'm gonna scoot out now, but yeah, take care in the meantime, everyone.
Bless you, bro. Derek, bless you, man. Nice one for being in the
All
panel.
right, cool.
That's our dude.
Yep.
You're in a better place, I've heard 1,000 times. And at least 1,000 times I've rejoiced for you. But the reason why I'm broken, the reason why I cry is how long must I wait to be with you? I close my eyes and I see your face. If home's where my heart is, then I'm out of place. Lord, won't you give me strength to make it through somehow? I've never been more homesick than now. Help me, Lord, 'cause I don't understand your ways. The reason why I wonder if I'll ever know. But even if you showed me, the hurt would be the same. 'Cause I'm still here, so far away from home. I close my eyes and I see your face. If home's where my heart is, then I'm out of place. Lord, won't you give me strength to make it through somehow? I've never been more homesick than now. In Christ, there are no goodbyes. And in Christ, there is no end. So I'll hold on to Jesus with all that I have to see you again. To see you again. And I close my eyes and I see your face. If home's where my heart is, then I'm out of place. Lord, won't you give me strength to make it through somehow? Won't you give me strength to make it through somehow? Won't you give me strength to make it through somehow? I've never been more homesick than now.
Nice. Nice. Thanks for that, Derek. Bless you for that. Thank you very much, sir. Right, guys, I will see you on Flaxes tomorrow. I've decided we'll do a testimony. We'll look at somebody's testimony about an ex-medium. An ex-medium. Obviously spoke to dead people and stuff like that, allegedly. So, yeah, it'll be the testimony of somebody. It'll be from that same guy we did the Mason one from, the Freemasonry dude one from. That one was really pushed for it because he got millions on that when he usually just gets a few thousand. Yeah, anyway, I'll see you guys in Flaxes, and if I don't, I'll see you guys tomorrow. But just saying bye, Ryan. Huh? Yeah, Ryan. Just saying bye now. See you guys later. Bless you. Oh, Roger as well. Good to see you, man. And ta-ta. I'll see you in Flaxes. Sorry about that. Just finishing. Bless you guys. Hear the sunset's free. It's free. Indeed. Ta-ta. Ta-da.